forever. Forever means forever, guys. You will never be alone. You always have the Father, Son, and Spirit right there with you. Okay? Is John chapter 15. It starts out with Jesus saying this: I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he builds up. And every branch that does not bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Already you are clean because of the word that I've spoken to you. Hold up a second here. This is before the cross, before the born again experience, and he says, already you are clean. Might throw some people's theologies off right there. Think about that, though. Already you are clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Jesus is the vine. The Father is the vine dresser. Okay? You got to think about that. What does that mean? Who are we? Here's what it says. Abide in me and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Are you doing anything? Well, you're not doing it apart from the true vine, the source of life itself. This is what he's saying right here. Okay? Apart from me, you can do nothing. Notice that. Jesus, the source of all things, because apart from him, you can't do anything. This is not about just good works. Okay? Sometimes people think that's what it is, right? Apart from me, you can't do anything good. No, apart from me, you can do nothing. You are held together and sustained by God himself, right? It says we are all things hold together by the power of his word. Do you understand that? And so it says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Guys, do the branches do anything? They bear fruit, right? But you don't ever see branches looking to the vine saying, come on. They're just there. We're an outflow of the source of Jesus, okay? The power of God through us, producing fruit in us and out of us. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch that withers, and in the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. And by this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit and prove to be my disciples. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, so that you prove to be my disciple. And as the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love. Guys, a lot of times this can get us into fruit inspection. We start looking at our performance and thinking, well, a lot of times this can get us into fruit inspection. We start looking at our performance and thinking, well, am I proving? Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Am I proving I'm a disciple to Jesus? How is that working? And, this is not, this. He's describing us, okay? I'm the vine, you're the branch. In me, you bear much fruit, okay? Without me, you don't do anything. It's all about Jesus here, the true vine. Let me read up to verse 14. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have commended you. Just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full. So a lot there to unpack. And he says this is my commandment. Sometimes you got to work backwards in Scripture. That you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. Turns out we do what he commands us because he lives in us and he's the true vine. And because of that, Jesus calls us his friends. All right, let's dig in a little bit in the Mirror version here. It says, "The love of the Father for me is my love for you. Abide in my love for you. By treasuring the prophetic conclusion of my life, you will remain constantly engulfed in my love, even as I treasure the completeness of my Father's prophetic purpose and abide in his forever love embrace. I have spoken these things unto you so that my joy will continuously infuse you. You don't have to invent your own if you can tap into mine." I love that one, right? "I've spoken to you that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be full." In other words, I have spoken these things unto you so that my joy will continuously infuse you. You don't have to invent your own type of joy if you can tap into mine. This is the ultimate bliss. I advise you to discover your love for one another mirrored in my love for you. This is the conclusion of my mission. There is no greater expression of love than the love that leads someone to lay down his life for his friends. Self-sacrifice is the high water mark of love. Our friendship is endorsed in your continual engagement with the conclusion of my mission. I do not communicate with you on a slave-boss basis. Slaves have no clue what their master is about to do. I talk to you as my friends, telling you everything that I have heard within the conversation and intimate conclusion with my Father. I explain it to you as friends. All right. So then we get to verse 16 here. It says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit and that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I command you so that you will love one another." The Mirror version says this, "I did not begin in you, you began in me. I am not your idea, you are mine. I have strategically positioned you in order that you may abound in much fruit bearing wherever life leads you. Fruit that would ceaselessly continue this same incarnate life of union with me. From within this place, anything you desire has already been granted to you by my Father. All of these things are the conclusion of my assignment to you, and they find their context in your love for one another." The hatred of the world. John 15:18. "If the world hates you, know that it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love you as its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said to you. A servant is not greater than his master. And if they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. And if they kept my word, they will also keep yours. But all these things they will do to you on account of my name, because they do not know him who sent me." Know that the world system hated me first whenever you encounter their resistance against you. If your lives were the product of the world system, you would enjoy their applause and friendship, but they can't stand you because their mold no longer has any hold on you. And now that you have discovered your authentic identity in my declaration of who you are by design. All right. If I had not come and spoken to them, they would not have been guilty of sin. But now they have no excuse for their sin. Whoever hates me hates my Father also. Let's think about sin in terms of unbelief, right? If I had not come and spoken to them, they would not have been guilty of not believing that their true origin is found in Jesus, that their true identity is wrapped up in Jesus. And they have no excuse now. They saw him in the flesh, in person, and he spoke to them directly. All right. Yes. All right. All right. Now it says, whoever hates me hates my Father also. If I had not done among them the works that no one else did, they would not be guilty of sin. But now they have seen and hated both me and my Father. But the word that is written in their law must be fulfilled. Quote, they hated me without a cause. I find that very interesting. The word that is written in their law must be fulfilled. They hated me without a cause. See, a lot of times we just think it's through and through God speaking here, or we separate the Father and the Son. But here, notice this language. The word that is written in their law must be fulfilled. They hated me without a cause. What's that a reference to? The Old Testament. And he's saying that's written in their law, but I've got a different law, the law of love, right? And Jesus says this, but when the Helper comes, whom I will send you from the Father, the Spirit of truth, who proceeds from the Father, he will bear witness about me. And you also will bear witness, because you have been with me from the beginning. Which harkens back to in the beginning, God. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and you were chosen in him before the foundation of the world. These are some deep spiritual realities we are dealing with here, guys. But that wraps John chapter 15.